everyone, so today I'm going to attempt to put this fakey doll's head onto this fakey doll's body to see what we get. I'm a little worried that her head's not quite big enough. The ones, I have seen some similar online. Karen sent me a picture and I'm pretty sure that the heads are slightly bigger, but well, let's give it a go. So this is one of those cheapy dolls from China, one of the cheap China bodies that I use to sometimes articulate my fashionistas. So that's her. She was about £2. Yeah, they take a bit of a while to come, but really just for display and for photographs, they work perfectly well. They're fine, and they're articulated, you know, at the chest, they're articulated at the elbow, the wrist and the knee, so that's really handy for pictures and things. Now my doll's head is, the hole in it is going to be a lot smaller than this one, than this neck hole. So what I need to do is, you can see that that hole is a lot smaller. That's not going to fit in there, is it? Let's have a look what she's going to look like. Well, I'm not sure. We'll soon find out. So now what I'm going to do is cut that hole bigger. And I can see that I need to go about halfway between this line here. Can you see the line? And this hole. So I need to cut about halfway around there. So that's what I'm going to do. And we'll see how we get on. Wish me luck. I'm going to be doing it with my craft knife. This should not be done by children. Please get an adult to do this for you. And I'm going to just cut this neck bigger. That's basically what I'm going to do. And I'm going to cut about halfway between the line and the hole. Children, please do not do this. You must get an adult to do this for you. It's very dangerous. Right, and I'm going to cut this little, it's got like a little bit inside here as well. I'm going to cut that out. So now this head should fit on this body, and it's going to look ridiculous, I'm sure, but what I'm going to do is push it down a bit. Well, it's not perfect, but it's not too bad. Now, I think once I've dressed her, you know, she won't look too bad. She's a bit of a pinhead, but I don't know, I think she'll be all right. I might even give her some extra hair to bush her head out of it and just make her look a little bit, make her head look slightly bigger. I'm going to glue on some hair, I think. Give her some dreadlocks. Yeah. So let's find her some clothes and see what she looks like with clothes and shoes on. So I found her out this little dress to put on. I actually got this from the pound shop, so that was another cheap little item. And actually these are selling for like £3 in my local Sainsbury's and other supermarkets. So there she is dressed with her shoes on. She's looking a bit better, isn't she? She's still not quite right, but she does look slightly better. And now I'm going to give her some hair, and what I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is paint her fringe. Well, paint her whole head really, because it needs to be nearer this colour. This is the colour of the hair I'm going to give her. This is some yarn that I got from the car boot for £1, and it's nice and thick. It's going to be like dreadlocks on her, isn't it? See, she's going to look lovely. So the first thing I'm going to do is paint her head so that it's the same colour as the wool. And what I'm using is acrylic paint. So here she is, her hair is starting to dry. I've done her fringe, I've given her fringe 2 coats because that will probably still show through the hair when it's done. So now that her hair's started to dry, I can start to glue on the new hair, or the yarn that I'm going to use for a new hair. What you need to do is put your yarn to the length that you want it to be. So I want it to be quite long, about that long, I think. So what, oops. So I'm going to cut myself some lengths. cut the edge as bluntly as you can. And just make lengths the same sort of lengths that you want. It can always be trimmed when you've got it all on. It's lovely and soft, this wool is. And when it's done, it's going to look like pink dreadlocks. It's going to be good. So I have my hot glue gun and I have my wool, and I'm going to put a tiny little spot of glue onto the end of my wool strand and then glue it directly to the doll's head. Just like that. Glue it as if it's coming out like natural hair would, and then you'll be able to style it in different ways when you've got it on. And then it's just a case of repeating that process until you're happy with how much hair you've got on your doll's head. So I'm going to work around the sides here. I think I might make her a new fringe, so I'm going to put this down here and cut it, and I might glue it onto I'm going to lay that flat like that, I think, and cut it across there, and I'm going to glue it into position. But first I need to get it all on. So I'm now at the point where I need to cut more strands. I've got about 1/4 of her head done, and I need to cut some more strands. So rather than doing them one at a time, I'm going to do them like this. I've got a piece of card and I need to cut it half the length of the strands I want. So measure your strand, so where to here, cut across your card. So I now have a piece of card that's half the length of the strand that I want. So then what I'm going to do is to wrap my thread, or to wrap my wool around the piece of card, not too tightly, you want it just loose, and wrap it around, and every wrap you do will be one strand of hair. And we're going to need quite a few by the look of it, so wrap, wrap, wrap until you've got a good card full. So I've got my card full of hair now like this, and all you need to do is slip your scissors in just at one end, just at one side, and cut across, and you will then have a load of strands, and it will have taken you half the time to do it. So that is worth... It's worth doing that, isn't it? So I've got all of these strands ready now to glue onto the doll. Let's keep going. Here we go. We have the very copious amounts of yarn hair on this doll, but that's what I wanted, because I wanted her head to look bigger so that it was more in proportion with her body. So that's exactly what we've got. I've glued some of the yarn down at the front here, glued it over that moulded on fringe, and just trimmed it across to the length that I want it. The first thing I'm going to do is remove these little spots from her cheek here. Can you see she's got like little marks on there? I'm going to use a bit of acetone just to remove those. So artificial nail and tip remover, that's what I use. And just dip my cotton bud in. Always put the lid straight back on, because last week I spilt a whole bottle of it all down my frock. And then just literally rub off the bits you don't want on there. Those bits of paint might actually have just washed off. So yeah, that's that. Now when you've done that with acetone, you must clean the area, because once you've used your acetone, give it a wipe, because otherwise it will degrade. So we've given that a good clean there. Now to style her hair, let's put her head back on her body. Well, you know, each to their own, eh? Yeah, she does look unusual, you'll give her that. She's certainly an unusual girl. Let's just get the, if you've got any little bits of glue here, which they will just pull out. I might just pop in a few little decorations in there as well. Let me just get hold of those. Here are the little decorations. I got them from eBay. They're like little, they'll wrap around the hair. I think they're for decorating dreadlocks and things like that. So, and also they fit nicely because the metal is so flimsy. You can undo them and do them back up again, and they'll fit nicely around your doll's wrist for a bracelet. So she's got a bracelet on. Now let's give her a few hair decorations. I've also found her a little purse or handbag that I had spare, so I'm going to pop that on her arm. And there she is, she's done. She's unusual, I'll give her that. She's certainly unusual, but, you know, some people like unusual dolls. Her hair has come out lovely though, and that is an easy and much faster than rerouting method of doing doll's hair. So let's just give her hair a bit of a trim across here so that it's straight. So I'm holding her like that so her hair's all hanging down. I'm just going to cut across. There we are. You can see she's still got a bit of like layering effect at the bottom, but it's just not quite as long. So here she is, the finished doll. Make what you will of her. Yeah, she's certainly unusual, but she's kept me busy for about an hour, so there you go. So we've learnt a few things while making this doll. The main thing being that I am an eternal optimist. Another thing we've learnt is that LOL dolls' heads don't go on Barbie's bodies. They just don't. Not this size anyway. But we have learnt how to do that method of hair replacement, so that's something. We've learnt that you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, even if you do decorate it with glitter. I hope you've got a few tips from watching me do this hybrid doll. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.